Hello, good people of Bills Nation, and welcome to Raymond James Stadium for the first game in this NFL doubleheader right here on Snyderman Broadcasting, where Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are set to host Josh Allen and your Buffalo. Teams pretty much have a playoff spot locked up, though nothing is official. And there you see Gabriel Davis, a real bright spot in the win last week with 5 catches and of course, those 2 touchdowns for 58 yards. Davis has gotten a little more active in the Bills' offense. We'll see if that continues here in the coming weeks. But we are ready to go here at Raymond James Stadium as Bass is ready to kick this game off. He'll boot this one into the end zone for a touchback where Tom Brady and the Buccaneers are set to take over at their own 25-yard line. There you see Brady's stats on the year, over 4,000 yards passing already, 29 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions on the season. So Brady having a great Brady-like year. Brady drops back. He is going to find Evans for the first down on the first play of the game. And, of course, Mike Evans, big for these Buccaneers last week. 10 catches, 127 yards in the game last week for Evans. Brady now set to take another snap. He's going to drop back and he will be dropped. That would be Hughes on the big sack, and that's the 7th sack of the season for Hughes. And if one thing has been going right for this Bills defense, it has been getting pressure on the quarterback, and Hughes has been a big part of that. The Bills really have 2 good defensive ends right now in Hughes and Rousseau. Rousseau, of course, in line for AFC Rookie of the Year. And speaking of Rousseau, he's going to get in on the sack lunch action with his 10th sack on the season, and that will actually force a punt by the Buccaneers. But Rousseau really got to Brady untouched, and that is going to be a memorable sack for Rousseau as he gets a sack on potentially the greatest quarterback of all time in his rookie campaign. But there you see Josh Allen, pretty good numbers on the year, almost 3,000 yards passing, 27 touchdowns to, of course, 14 interceptions on the year. We've talked in great detail already this season about Allen's interceptions. We don't need to go into that anymore. And not a great run by Singletary there. Only picked up maybe a yard, 15 attempts, and got 70 yards in the game last week for Singletary. League's 3rd leading rusher, though, so he's been very active in this Bills offense so far this year. Allen is going to drop back on this one, and he is going to look for Davis there and is not going to be able to find him, and that will force a punt by Buffalo. So both teams have had a shot so far. Neither team has really ended up with much, as Brady now is going to hand the ball off to Bell, and Bell is going to be stuffed by Edmonds on that rush. Give him absolutely nothing on that run. Edmonds, again, kind of going through pretty untouched there. Kind of a soggy day here in Tampa, as you can see. The splashes coming up from the field. It was raining before the game. Things seem to have dried out now. But, of course, that could impact this game moving forward. And Brady goes down again. This time it's Ed Oliver with his 9th sack on the year. And that is the 3rd sack of the game for this Bills defense. That is a huge sack. And if things don't get cleared up on this Tampa Bay front, it's going to be a long day for Tom Brady. But he is going to be off the field now, as that sack by Oliver is going to force the punt. McKenzie now on their turn switches directions. He's got space. They're going to let McKenzie go. McKenzie jukes a defender, and he's going to be taken down about the 41-yard line. So big return there for McKenzie. Gets him on the Tampa Bay side of the field. Jukes multiple defenders after a change in direction, and they almost let that one break away from them, which would have been a huge score for this Bills team. And there you see the AFC playoff picture. Bills currently hold the number 1 seed, but Kansas City and Cincinnati are not that far behind, and many teams are in the hunt here. Hand off to Moss. Moss going to take it outside. Jukes the defender. Bulldozes his way into the end zone. Got bulldozed there at the end. But Moss will score a touchdown. And who else? Moss has been a great red zone option for this Bills team so far this year. Seems like whenever you give him the ball within the 5, he's going to take it home for you. And he does so right there, giving the Bills an early lead, 7-0. Here comes Tom Brady yet again, and the story of the day so far, it has been those 3 sacks. 3 sacks alone in the first quarter, as Hughes, Oliver, and Rousseau have all put Brady on his back today. Put him on the wet grass here in Tampa Bay. End of the first quarter now. Brady is going to hand the ball off to Bell. Bell stiff arms a defender and gets the first, moving the chains for the Tampa Bay offense. But that, as Sean McDermott is not happy about that big run. Those chains, as you can see, are going to be moving as Bell finds a hole. Stiff arms, I believe that was Wallace that he put on the ground. It was hard to tell there. But that will end the first quarter. 7-0 Buffalo with the Buccaneers driving. This broadcast of the NFL is brought to you by Dungeons & Dragons. Enter a fantasy world with your friends and completely nerd out. Dungeons & Dragons is in no way affiliated with Snyderman Broadcasting, and this is just a shameless plug by Snyderman. I mean, a nameless sports announcer for Snyderman Broadcasting and the Buffalo Bills. Play some D&D. It's super fun, super awesome. That first play of the quarter, incomplete pass by Brady, is going to lead to 4th down for the Bucks. They're going to punt it away. Allen is going to drop back on the first play of the drive, and he's going to be picked off. Picked off by Davis. And Allen had Knox in the flat there. Why he didn't just dump it off to Knox and get something is beyond me. But Carlton Davis leaps up, gets the pick, and the interceptions continue for Josh Allen. They might just be a piece of Allen's game that the Bills are just going to have to accept. You'd like to see him cut down those numbers. But there's Milano finding a gap in the offensive line, and Brady's going to go down for the 4th time today. Milano, great sack. That'll be number 5 on the year for him. As you can see, he just waits for a hole to open and finds it, and immediately goes rushing after Brady, taking him down for the sack there. As the Bills continue to get pressure on Brady, 3rd and 9 now. Brady drops back, finds his good friend Rob Gronkowski for the Buccaneers' first down. So, as always, the Brady and Gronk connection, ever reliable. It's been that way for years, and it worked pretty well there, as the Bucs are now in the red zone, and Brady's going to find little Scotty Miller for the touchdown, tying this game all up, assuming that Suckup is going to hit the extra point, which we assume that he will. But whenever you can get Brady within striking distance, you know he's going to put you into the end zone, and he does so right there with a good connection to the increasingly reliable receiver Scotty Miller. And Brady now, and the Bucs are tied with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And Allen not having a good day, not having a good half, just 3 for 7 and 30 yards. And of course that interception there. Allen rolls out on the run. He's going to throw on the run, find Davis on the sideline. Davis knocks down a defender and gets big yards after the catch, make that 12 yards after the catch for Davis on a big 33-yard connection between him and Josh Allen there, moving the chains for the Bills. Allen throwing on the run, finding Davis, getting a huge score. And you can see Bruce Arians there, not too happy with his defense on that connection. You love to see it if you're a Buffalo fan, though. Allen's going to drop back again. He's going to find Diggs over the middle, and Diggs is going to score. Diggs with the touchdown. Puts the Bills up by 6. Going to be 7 with the extra point. Make it 14-7 Buffalo. Beautiful, beautiful patience there by Allen. Waits till Diggs gets a step over the middle. Finds a window in the zone defense. And just puts it in for a Bills touchdown. There you see Tom Brady's stats last drive, 5 for 5. So this Bills defense is going to have to figure out how to stop that. And that's a good start as Hughes gets yet another sack on Brady. So that will be 5 sacks for the Bills defense heading into the half. It's going to be a bad day for Brady. Holy cow. This Bucs offensive line just can't figure it out, and that is how we will go into halftime with the 5th sack on Tom Brady already. But pretty balanced game so far, 14-7 Buffalo. But let's take a look around the NFL. Let's head up to New York first, where the Jets are hosting the Saints, and Taysom Hill has the Saints out in front of the Jets and led the Saints to a victory there in New York. Traveling over to Cincinnati now, where the Bengals making a case for that number 1 seed in the AFC with 5 touchdowns from Joe Burrow, 41-19 Cincinnati in that game. The G-Men went and visited Los Angeles, which apparently, according to our map there, moved to what looked like Oklahoma. Los Angeles and the G-Men are tied in that game just before the half, but we are back here with some second half of football as McKenzie takes it out to about the 27-yard line for the Buffalo Bills. Allen coming out now for his first drive of the half. And again, you'd like to see Josh Allen clean up those numbers from the first half. Not a great half for him. Could be better. Big run there by Singletary to start the half. Moss going to pick up the first down and more on 3rd and inches. Converts a big 3rd down there. 3 touches and 18 yards for Moss. And, of course, the touchdown, which has helped put Buffalo in the lead. And that lead extends with a quick pass to Knox there, who has also been a pretty reliable red zone target for Allen. If they don't give it to Moss within the 5, usually Knox is their viable option there. Tom Brady out here now trying to quickly answer back. Ball on the 47. He's going to go with a quick strike to Robinson there. Quick strike to Robinson, but there will be a face mask that is going to push the Bucs forward up to the 31, but that drive is going to stall out, where Suckup is going to have to attempt a long field goal, and he is going to nail that. So make it 21-10 Buffalo as Tampa Bay cuts into this lead, but Suckup with a big kick there as the Bucs are on the board yet again here early in the second half. Allen is going to drop back in. He just doesn't see the defender there as he throws it right to Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett gets the pick, and all he did was sit and wait. I don't know what Allen was thinking there. He wanted to find Davis, so I feel like he tried to force that one there. and it just didn't pay out. And it gives Brady and the Bucs good field position. Brady all day to throw that ball. Not something we've been able to say a lot today. And Johnson is going to get the TD score. That's 1,000 yards receiving on the season for Johnson, and gets the Bucs even closer to your Buffalo Bills. The pressure that we've been seeing all day on Brady wasn't there on that touchdown pass as Johnson gets into the end zone. It will be 16-21, and Brady and the Bucs are going to go for two, and he is going to find Howard for a successful 2-point conversion. So make that 21-18 Buffalo there on the successful 2-point conversion for the Bucs. So Arians really making some good decisions there. Stats looking a little better now for Allen. 12 for 17, 2 touchdowns. Just got to get rid of those interceptions. He's going to find Beasley over the middle to start the drive, and Beasley is going to take it deep into Bucs territory, gets the ball out to about the 35-yard line. Moves the chains. Allen all day to throw. Finds the ever-reliable Beasley over the middle. Gets the first down. And that's going to put the Bills in great position here at the end of the quarter. But that's going to be a third interception. 3 interceptions on the day. And this one's going all the way for a Bucs touchdown. So that is a pick 6 on the board at the end of the third quarter, and that will put the Bucs ahead now 24-21 to end the third quarter, and this route just gets jumped. He was looking for a screen to Sanders, and the screen just gets picked. Just jumps all over that. Buccaneers with an 18-point onslaught in that third quarter. That's really put them in charge of this game, and you can't help but feel the momentum shift and swing, and they're going to go right back to a screen, Buffalo is, on 2nd and inches, and Matt Breida, is going to pick up the first on that screen. Bills driving, ball at the 25, handoff to Breida. Breida going to rumble all the way up to the 8-yard line. Big run. We don't call Breida's name a lot. He doesn't get a lot of time, doesn't get a lot of touches, but he does get the big gain there. Allen's going to drop back, and he's just going to take off and take it in himself for the score. So Allen didn't really let much develop there, but he saw a window, and he just took it. Drops back, didn't really see anything he liked right away, so he saw the opening right there at the beginning. And that will be a score for your Buffalo Bills, putting them back in the lead 28-25 as Brady now has the Buccaneers moving. Ball at the 45, but he's going to go down. That will be Russo getting another sack today. Big sack lunch there for Russo. He was a hungry man today, apparently, as he went back for seconds, adding another sack on his total, and Brady goes down yet again. But he does have the Bucs in good field position here, as that is going to be a big run. Big run by Jones. Gets the Bucs up to the 5-yard line. And Bucs knocking on the door. 1st and goal from the 5. Brady all day. No pressure at all. And he's going to find Scotty Miller in the back of the end zone for a Buccaneers touchdown. So the Bucs now up late in the fourth. 31-28 the score right now, as Miller was just left wide open in the back of the end zone for that Buccaneers TD. Make it 32-28 with the extra point, as here comes Allen and this Bills offense trying to rally here late in the game. 4 minutes left. Allen's going to drop back out of the gun. He's going to find Breda for the screen. Brady's going to juke a defender and get, let's call it 8 there on the screen. 2nd and 2 for this Bills team. They're going to drive all the way down to the field, all the way down to the 1, and Moss is going to push it in for the Bills touchdown. He is going to absolutely force his way in. Didn't really have an opening there up the middle where he wanted to go, so he just kind of made one himself. He found the pile of bodies and just forced his end zone for a late Bills touchdown, and that will be your final as the Bills squeak out, and I do mean squeak out, a victory here in Tampa Bay, as Brady just couldn't get away from this Bills defense at all today. Could not get away from the Bills defense, as he went down 6 times, I believe, in that game. Of course, Bucs made it a game with their 3 takeaways, but your Bills do walk away from Raymond James Stadium with a victory. Around the NFL, Week 14, you had the Steelers beating the Vikings, the Bengals destroying the 49ers, Kansas City beat the Raiders, the Saints beat the Jets, Cleveland beats Baltimore, Broncos beat Detroit, Chicago upsets Green Bay in Green Bay, and the Arizona Cardinals destroy the Rams in Phoenix. But without further ado, it is Week 15 of the NFL here at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, where your Buffalo Bills are going to host the Carolina Panthers. Sean McDermott and his team are ready. One thing they would like to do is cut down on those 3 interceptions that we saw Josh Allen throw in the game last week. On the other side of the ball, you have Chuba Hubbard taking over for the injured Christian McCaffrey there in Carolina. We'll see what he's able to do on the ground for the Panthers here today. But McKenzie takes the opening kickoff. He is at about the 27-yard line when he is brought down. So Josh Allen and this Bills team are going to take over at the 27. Looking good in the red jerseys this week. Allen, there you see his stats on the season again. 3,200 yards, 29 touchdowns for the young man out of Wyoming. Allen is going to start the game under center. He's got I formation, hands it off to Singletary. Singletary makes a defender miss, but doesn't get much on that play. That was a hard-earned 2 yards there on first down. It is 2nd and 8 now. Handoff to Singletary again, and he's going to break one, get all the way up to the 12-yard line, and the Bills are driving. They are in scoring position already here, about little over halfway through the first quarter, as Singletary moves the chains for Buffalo, puts them in the red zone. So we'll see what happens, and the drive does stall. So Tyler Bass is going to come out for a nice little chip shot field goal to put the Buffalo Bills up 3-0. Bass had a shaky first couple games of the season, but seems to have figured things out as we now get our first look at Sam Darnold here today for the Carolina Panthers. First year here in Carolina for Mr. Darnold. Traded, of course, from the New York Jets, hoping that the issues that plagued him in New York were just a fluke. We will see what happens as Hubbard there goes for maybe 2 yards on first down. But yeah, Darnold looking for a little career resurgence here in Carolina. I think he can manage it. I think he's got a lot of upside. I think he was just misused there in New York, as he is going to find, I believe that was Abdullah, for a few yards there, as the Panthers are driving. They are at about, call it the 30-35 yard line of the Bills, as Abdullah gets the first for Carolina to end the first quarter, where it is still 3-0 Buffalo. So not a whole lot of action there in the first quarter, as neither team was able to get much going in the way of offense. Darnold is going to find his man along the sideline. Darnold, 4 for 4, 43 yards on the day, with that last pass out into the sideline. But that will actually be a big stop, and that will lead to a turnover on downs as Allen rolls out, looking deep for Diggs, and Diggs makes the big catch. 54-yard reception to Diggs. Big first down. Very similar to the play that we saw Allen make last week in Tampa Bay, where he found Davis deep down the field for a big score on the rollout. That is Diggs that he finds along the sidelines for 52 yards. Puts the Bills in scoring territory. I formation now. Handoff to Moss. Moss, I was going to say Moss gets stuffed, but he ends up finding his way into the end zone. I'm not so sure that he was able to get in there. Looked like he might have been down. If you look right there, it's close. Does the ball break the plane before the knee goes down? And upon review, the officials are going to say yes, so make that 10-0 Buffalo against Carolina. About halfway through the second quarter, halftime fast approaching here in Buffalo today. That's going to be Hubbard there on the carry. 8 rushes for 14 yards for Hubbard. So not a lot going on for Hubbard here in the game today, as his offensive coordinator trying to figure out this Buffalo's defense. One thing right now is the pass rush that we saw in Tampa has not been there today, as that's Sherman batting down the pass there on third down, and that is second down. That will set up a punt, however, as the Panthers can get nothing doing on third down. Nothing going on third down, as Singletary, Allen, Diggs, and company are going to come out here and drive down the field, as Davis is going to go in for the score. Very, very quick touchdown pass to Davis there on that drive will put the Bills up by 17 as Bass comes and gets the extra point. Good connection there to Davis, though. Just Davis breaks away from the defender, has room on the sideline, and he goes in for a score. So Darnold now back out to stop the bleeding. And as I was saying, he's not had a lot of pressure today. He's been able to find his guys, just correlated to points, as Hubbard gets the handoff on first down, and let's call it 9 on that run. Make that first down, 1st and 10 at the 46, as Hubbard again gets a handoff. Not a lot going on that one, as Rousseau makes the big stuff in the run there, as Hubbard was looking for somewhere to go. Rousseau almost knocked that ball out right there. Rousseau going for the strip, didn't quite get it, stuffed the run on third down, leads to a long field goal attempt on 4th and 2. And this one is going to be wide left, so Carolina still yet to put its first points on the board here today, as that kick goes wide left, and that is, you're going to go into halftime here today with Buffalo really dominating on all sides of the ball. Yardage, points, everything. Buffalo just not letting these Panthers get anything going. Let's head down to Miami, where Zach Wilson has his Jets in front of Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins, 17-6 just before halftime in that game. If we travel a little further north, the Cinderella story continues in Jacksonville as Trevor Lawrence has 3 touchdowns on the day, leading the Houston Texans 21-7. The Jaguars looking to be a force in the AFC this year. Colts lead New England Patriots as the Pats visit Indianapolis. Wentz with 2 touchdowns in that game, but it is second half action here in Buffalo as Bass set to kick it away as Carolina will get the ball to start the second half, and they have a 17-point hole to climb out of here to start the half as Sam Darnold in this offense, they got to get something going here to start the half as Darnold is going to start in the pistol formation. Hubbard gets the handoff, call it 5 on that game. Darnold has the Panthers driving. It's 1st and 10 from the Bills 31 as Darnold drops back. He is going to find his receiver. That'll be Moore for the first down, and that will get a goal line stance ready as it is 3rd and goal for the Panthers, and they are going to push their way into the end zone for their first points of the day about halfway through the 3rd quarter as Abdullah gets the score here for the Carolina Panthers. So make it 17-7 Buffalo. About halfway through 3rd quarter, Abdullah putting some points on the board. So that's the kind of drive that these Panthers needed to start this second half. They needed a score, so maybe that could be the spark that this offense needed. Who knows? Time will tell. As Diggs, 68 receptions, just over 1,000 yards, and of course 6 touchdowns on this campaign. As the Buffalo Bills offense looks to rolling today, Singletary rolling over defenders, call it 9 on the gain. As Allen has his guys moving, it is 3rd down, but he doesn't see the defender again. Again, Allen looking for Davis, and Reddick picks him off. So the interceptions continue for Allen. That'll be his first one here today, but he just doesn't see Reddick sitting in the middle of the field. And that'll end this 3rd quarter as the score is 17-7. Buffalo. And I think we figured it out. Allen's just trying to force these passes to his receivers and just not finding anybody. As Darnold barely gets that ball away as he is blasted by Edmonds there on the play. There you see it, though. Buffalo not getting the takeaways that we're used to seeing them get here today. They're not getting the pass rush. They're not getting much of anything. But as I say that, there's Addison to bring down Darnold on 3rd down and force a field goal attempt upcoming. But that'll be the first sack for this Bills defense, who has been great at pressuring the quarterback this year. They sacked Brady 6 times last week. That's the first one there on Darnold, and this kick nowhere close to being good, way wide left. Still 17-7 here in the second half. But that is a big missed field goal as Allen and the Bills take over at the 47-yard line. Moss trucks over a defender, but there's a second one there to clean up the mess, so call it an 8-yard run. Not a lot going on for Buffalo this drive as they will have to settle for a field goal. Bass's kick is up and good, so make it 20-7 Buffalo here in the 4th quarter. 20-7 Buffalo, as Darnold and his offense just looking for anything that's going to help out. We're about halfway through the fourth quarter. Darnold, big pass to Anderson. I believe that was Anderson on that connection. Darnold on the 47-yard line. Correction, that's Anderson. Anderson down the sideline, and he will score. So 47-yard touchdown there to Anderson. Cuts into this lead as the Bills now looking at a 20-14 lead in a game that was once 17-0. So this porous Bills secondary continues, This porous Bills secondary continues to be a little bit of an issue here for the Bills, as Allen now, ball on the 43, handoff Moss on 3rd and 4. Moss looking to take it outside, and he's going to be stuffed. So that's a big stop for this Carolina defense, as Darnold and the Panthers are going to take over at the 20-yard line, their own 20-yard line. Darnold drops back, and there's nobody. There is nobody around Anderson. The Bills defense loses Anderson on that big 80-yard score. Game is tied at 20. Barring an extra point, Panthers might take a lead in a game where they were down by 17 points. 21-20, Buffalo. So now, Allen and this Bills offense, 2nd and 11, looking for a score. Less than a minute left in the game. Allen looking for Sanders, can't find him. So it might all come down to the leg of Tyler Bass. 50 seconds left in the game now. Allen out of the gun. Takes a snap, drops back. He's looking for a receiver. Finds Davis, but Davis can't get out of bounds, so Buffalo's going to have to call a timeout. Buffalo down by 1. End of the fourth quarter, 21-20. 23 seconds. Allen drops back. He's going to find Beasley. Beasley does get out of bounds. But that will do it for the Bills, as they are going to blow a 17-0 lead and lose this game 21-20 in a game that was really mostly all Buffalo. Especially very early on, they just didn't have a defense in that second half. 21-20 your final. Bills lose their third game of the season, and that will actually take them out of first place in the AFC. Around the league in Week 15, we got the Chiefs beating the Chargers, so the Chiefs will take the number 1 seed in the AFC right now. Washington beats Philadelphia in Philadelphia. The Raiders lose their second straight when they go to Cleveland and lose to the Browns. The Jets destroy Miami down in Miami. Of course, the heartbreaker of 21-20 here in Buffalo. Indy barely squeaks out a victory against the New England Patriots. Dallas goes into New York and destroys the G-Men. The Cinderella story, as we said, continues in Jacksonville. 35-14 final out there. Pittsburgh hosts Tennessee and comes out with a 3-point victory. Baltimore 42-17 in that game. 42-17 as Arizona goes to Detroit and destroys the Lions there as well. The Bengals squeak out a victory in Denver 16-13 as the Bengals go into Denver and beat the Broncos. Atlanta gets a victory out in San Francisco 23-21. The Rams 26-23 as they host Seattle. They get a victory. Tampa Bay back to their winning ways 35-21 as they welcome the Saints into Tampa. And Minnesota on Monday night goes to Chicago and upsets the Bears. But this is your playoff picture for the 2021 NFL season. And as it sits right now, Kansas City takes the top spot in the AFC with their victory and the Buffalo loss. So a little bit of movement there atop the conference. Buffalo can still get that a 1 seed. That will come probably right down to week 18, actually. As of right now, Cardinals sitting at number 1 in the NFC, but Dallas is not far behind in that race either. So a lot can change in the next 3 weeks. Make sure that you are paying attention here on Snyderman Broadcasting as we bring you more Bills action. But we will see you next week.